Hello, and welcome to the latest wealthmanagement.com Fast Chat. My name is Davis Janowski, and I'm the Senior Technology Editor with wealthmanagement.com. Today, my guest is Kent Peterson, Second Vice President, CFO and Actuary, Retirement Solutions at Securian Financial Group. Thanks for joining me today, Kent.
Good morning, Davis.
Well, today we're going to be discussing the evolution of managed accounts. As we look to the future of managed accounts, what do we see that indicates they're going to have more success going forward than in the past?
Well, I think if you look back on the history of managed account solutions as well as alternatives, and one of the most, notable alternatives is target date funds. Regulation really created that opportunity to get a well-diversified portfolio that people could opt into with little or no work on their part. But it was a one-size-fits-all solution. And as we think about managed accounts, the biggest impediments over the time has been cost and really the ability to execute those effectively and efficiently.
What about things like personalization? Has that become increasingly important?
Yeah, as you look at the population today versus what it was 20 years ago, they really do embrace personalization on average. And so that's a main part of our life with our social media accounts and other things. So I do believe people are ready for personalization, and they're interested in knowing that it's not something that was built for the average, but really built for them personally.
And I have to believe that things like data sharing are going to help in the ability to run managed accounts as well, right?
Yeah, as more and more data moves to the cloud and just becomes easier to move from one database to another, it does create opportunities. And if you think about the record-keeping industry, they house a lot of data for individuals in retirement plans. And so by sharing that information into these tools directly, it does take a lot of the work off the plate of the individual. They can have personalization without high levels of, engagement.
So is this a suitable replacement for, a single factor solution as the qualified default investment alternative?
Yeah, if you really think about what they were looking for when they came out with the QDIA regulations, it was that people be well diversified and that they take risks that were appropriate for their age or nearness to retirement. And managed accounts do that even more personally than the target date funds. And cost was a big factor early on in terms of it was much more expensive to have managed account solutions, but that cost has come down very close. So you can get managed account solutions that deliver at the same price as an actively managed target date fund.
And what about QDIA Reenrollment?
Yeah, it's really becoming more and more of what I'd call a fiduciary best practice. It's a way of making sure that people are actively making decisions with regards to their asset allocation. And by opting them into a QDIA for the plan, whether it's a single factor or a managed account, it does put them in a position of being well diversified, and they can make choices to do something different, but it does then cause them to be thinking about their retirement and their asset allocation on a regular basis.
Well, tell me a little bit about what is the Securian Financial Managed Account Solution.
Yeah, we call our managed account solution Target Pro portfolios, and we've partnered with Stadion out of Georgia to really deliver what I think is a cutting edge, interesting new solution. We entered that development with two things in mind. We wanted to build it at a low cost point, and we wanted to also limit the amount of engagement that a participant would have to give to the managed account. And what that really required is that we take the data from our system and pipe it to the Stadion asset allocation engine, and they would pipe back then the asset allocation decision that our systems could then process. And it works very well, and the early signs are that participants really enjoy that experience.
And what about what kind of choices do they have within the solution?
Yeah, so as we built this, one of the things we wanted to keep in mind is we wanted to allow the advisor to also have some skin in the game and have some involvement. And so that allows them to make some decisions about whether they want the investments to be from the core lineup, or if they want to use some outside portfolios that are not core to the plan to build those asset allocation. If you think about certain asset classes, they're not always things you want people to have free access to. So you maybe don't want them to be in the core lineup, but you would want them to be in a well-diversified portfolio and in a managed account. And so we have those options. It's really up to the preferences of the advisor in which they'd prefer. But if they want involvement, they can be involved in creating that asset allocation building blocks.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today. I've been talking with Kent Peterson, Second Vice President, CFO and Actuary with Retirement Solutions at Securian Financial Group. For more information, visit Securian.com, and I want to thank you for joining us today.